What's going on, Rodeo Universe? Hog Trail, aka the GOAT, back with another episode of Get Good. Last time we built Skip Sheffield, who was the first person that we've built who I've never actually built before. I was able to get 2 games in with Skip. I lost a game against Bailey. It was a bad matchup. Bailey used old school cage match, and Bailey just naturally can get a very large hand. So that wasn't a great matchup, but I was able to beat Dwayne Johnson, which was interesting because Dwayne's a really good superstar, and so is Bailey. But Dwayne is a more obviously good superstar. And I was able to spam Beat You Raw a bunch of turns in a row, and the deck worked out the way I wanted it to. So overall, I think it's fine. You know, Skip Sheffield's not a great superstar, but he's capable of winning. So there you go. I've got the deck loaded up of superstar cards. I've already removed the 5 that we've done so far, and let's see who we have today. The Second Coming. Okay. This is a superstar that I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about. So let's see how it goes. All right, here we are in the Octagon deck builder. I've loaded up my face shell because Second Coming is one of the new legends and they can't pack run-ins, and there's a lot of good heel run-in cards. So might as well go face. All right, so the Second Coming. 7 hand size, 5 superstar value. It's a legend. You cannot flip cards face up. Once during each of your turns, you may play 1 face down card as if from hand or backlash. Your feud cards are now active events and can be played during the fuse phase. Sorry. You can pack unique Chris Jericho, Arsenal, and mid-match cards, and I'm Better Than You. You cannot pack corners, managers, run-ins, first of all, or back to basics. All right, so Second Coming's ability confuses some people. The first part in particular, once during each of your turns, you can play 1 face-down card as if from hand or backlash. A lot of people read that as you can play 1 card in your hand face down, but that's not what this does. If you have a face down card in your ring, you can play that card as if from hand or backlash. So your face down cards in your ring are kind of like a second hand for cards that you can play on your turn. So you can't play reversals, obviously, because it won't be your turn. But if you have a chair shot face down in your ring, you can play that card, meaning once it's played, it's no longer in your ring. It's in the, it's in limbo or wherever the zone is when cards are being played. So it regains all of its traits. It regains all of its text and damage and all that stuff. So it becomes a regular chair shot that you're playing. If it's reversed, it goes into your ring side. If it's successful, obviously it goes into your ring face up. So basically, he can have a second hand with his face down cards. He typically only has 1 face down card in his ring at a time. The part about the feuds, I don't know how relevant that's going to be for us. We'll look at the feuds afterwards. And then being able to get Chris Jericho, Arsenal, and mid-match cards, and I'm Better Than You is good. Jericho's got some good cards. So we'll add him already. Jericho's flashy LED jacket. Backstage area. Once during each of your turns, when you have no face down cards in your ring, you may discard 1 card and overturn 1 card, and then put 1 non-superstar specific card from your ring side into your ring face down. When you successfully play 1 card with playing text, you may put 1 card from your ring side on the bottom of your arsenal and flip 1 card in your ring face down. All right, so this is kind of the Second Coming's motor. Basically, in layman's terms, it lets them spam cards from ringside. So let's say you have a chair shot in your ringside. You can discard one and overturn one, and then put that chair shot face down into your ring. And of course, when you have a face down card in your ring, you can then play that card. And lucky for us, chair shot has blank text. So if that chair shot is successful, you can bury a ringside card and you can flip one card in your ring face down. So let's say you played Here Comes the Cavalry earlier in the game. You play a blank chair shot and it's successful. You can flip Here Comes the Cavalry face down, and now you have another Here Comes the Cavalry that you can play. So again, it can be good. I'm not sure if we're going to lean into blank cards or not. We might, but for now, this card is very good at letting you spam maneuvers and actions. The End of the World as You Know It. It is a mid-match action / reversal non-maneuver. 7 fortitude, 5 damage. This card is considered to have blank text for your effects. When you have at least 15 lower fortitude, this card is -7 fortitude. And when this card is in your ring and your successfully played superstar specific maneuvers are considered to have blank text for your effects. So remember, the LED jacket has that effect that lets you flip down ring cards. Here you go. Here's one way to flip them. Even if you don't lean into blank cards, you can still have them using this. So that's certainly a good card that's going in. The new Legends of the WWE. This can be packed by all of the newer Legend remakes. Excuse me. When packing this card, you can pack No Cell Maneuver, and your superstar specific cards can be packed as if they are not Raw or SmackDown. During your turn, you may hide this card and then shuffle 4 cards from your ringside into your arsenal. Solid card, it's free, gives you some packing permissions like No Cell, which is great. And it doesn't automatically align you to Raw or SmackDown. And it's free recovery when you need it the most. So I love it. The Gift of Jericho. Mid-match action multi, 12 fortitude. Can only be reversed by 2 reversal cards. Search your arsenal for up to 2 Chris Jericho specific cards, reveal them, put them into your ring face down, and shuffle. Your opponent searches his arsenal for up to 1 card with Jericho in the title or text, reveals it, puts it into his hand, and shuffles the stupid idiot. This is a good card. It gives you 2 Jericho cards. You need them. You can put them in your ring face down, which means you can play them whenever you feel like it. That's great. And it bridges nicely from The End of the World as You Know It. And now the list of Jericho. 8 fortitude reversal. Reverse any card and put the reverse card under this card. During your opponent's turn, when there is a card under this card, he may overturn 2 and discard 2. And when he does, put the card under this card into his ringside. So this, whatever card you reverse with it, you basically steal it, and your opponent doesn't get it back until he pays that cost. That's good. Any reversal that reverses any card is great. And it also reverses from Arsenal. You obviously wouldn't get the second part of it, but anything that reverses any card from Arsenal is good in my book. Okay, so we can pack unique Chris Jericho Arsenal and mid-match cards. So now let's look up Jericho. And let's do trait unique. And my favorite thing, format contains ass. Okay. Walls of Jericho, it's 30 fortitude, 20 damage trademark finisher, and you can play maintain hold after it. It's basically just a regular trademark finisher, which is fine, and you can spam it. Actually, you can't spam because it's specific. So we may end up not even packing Walls of Jericho, depending on the way the deck goes. It's really nothing too special. It's just, trademark finishers are hard to reverse, so we might keep it, we might not. Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla. There's a throwback that we're also going to look at, but it's 12 fortitude. Look at your opponent's hand, and he cannot reverse maneuvers from his arsenal for the rest of the turn. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's look at the throwback and see what that does. 13 fortitude action throwback. Look at your opponent's hand. Your next 3 maneuvers played this turn cannot be reversed from his arsenal, backlash deck, or ringside pile. That's also good. We may end up going with Ayatollah just because it offers more restrictions. Throwback one, I mean. Lion Salt can only be played after he successfully played 4 damage or greater maneuver. When successfully played, your opponent discards 1 card. Lion Salt is good. Specific high risk can only be played after 4 damage or greater maneuver. That's not great. So again, we might not pack it just because it's hard to play 2 maneuvers in 1 turn. But for now, we'll put it in. Y2J, 5 fortitude action. Draw up to 5 cards or your opponent discards 5 cards. This is still one of the best cards in Raw Deal. This card was devastating back in Premiere when it first came out. It's still really good and really hurts your opponent. Making them discard 5 hurts a lot. Don't you never, ever 2 fortitude reversal, reverse any strike, grapple, or submission and your opponent's turn. He discards 2, and during your next turn, your maneuvers are +2 damage. There's nothing wrong with that. Superior acrobatics. This is a min-match, so we get it. Reverse any strike, grapple, or high risk. End your opponent's turn. Search your arsenal for 1 maneuver, put it in your hand, and shuffle. Yeah, that's a good reversal. It's another reversal in your mid-match too. I am better than you. We can pack this one, but we aren't going to pack this version. We're going to pack the throwback one. So let's move on. The breakdown. As a maneuver, search your arsenal for 1 unique card, reveal it to your opponent, put in your hand and shuffle. Reverse any strike or grapple. It's an 18 fortitude, 12 damage grapple. So this card will almost always be played as a reversal, unless your opponent is a, mono submission or mono high risk deck. But when it hits, it usually ends games. I'm the king of the world. 11 fortitude action cannot be reversed when Jerichoholics is in your ring. Put 1 maneuver, 1 action, and 1 reversal from your opponent's ring into his ringside pile. Ring destruction is really powerful in this game. So we are absolutely going to have that. Highlight reel, it's a pre-match, so we don't get it. We don't get sanctimonious. Listen up, Junior, don't be an ass clown. It's a 4 fortitude action. When this card is in your ring, the maximum number of mid-match cards you can have in your ring area is increased by 3. During your opponent's turn, you can discard 3 and put this card in your ringside. And when this card's in your ringside, you can discard 3 to put in your backlash. This card's generally not worth it. Plus mid-match slots are helpful, but it's nothing really special. So we're going to skip it. My obscenely expensive Jeri-tron 5000. 0 fortitude action for an object. When this card is in your ring area, your unique cards are minus number fortitude, where number is equal to your superstar value. And when you successfully play a unique card, you may draw 1. This card's very good. It will inevitably be reversed by Sidewalk Slam. But luckily, when it's in your ring, it's really good. And we're going to be playing a bunch of unique cards, probably. So it's good. And it's all your unique cards, including reversals and stuff like that. So it's good. Roll the footage, monkeys. It's a action reversal for 7 fortitude. Reverse any action and end your opponent's turn. You may search your arsenal for 1 card with the same title as a reverse card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. It's good. Even if your opponent plays an action that you don't have in your arsenal, it's still a reversal. So why not? Jericho's Ensugiri, strike / reversal submission. It's a 10 fortitude, 8 damage card. As a maneuver, shuffle up to number of cards from ringside in your arsenal where number is equal to your opponent's superstar value. And as a reversal, reverse any submission. So again, a card that will probably be only used as a reversal, and it bridges nicely into the breakdown. And the breakdown bridges nicely into the walls of Jericho. So look at that. This is the Ayatollah of rock and roll that we already went over that we're going to put in. Springboard dropkick throwback. It's 17 fortitude, 13 damage as a maneuver, minus 10 fortitude, and can only be played after a 5 damage or greater maneuver or throw opponent out of the ring. Meh. However, as a reversal, reverse any non-unique action and end your opponent's turn. This is another reversal that can really end games. If your opponent plays, you know, tactical splash as an action and you say, no, I don't think so, and you springboard dropkick them, that's probably the end of the game. Jerichoholics throwback, 5 fortitude, draw 1 card. Your opponent discards 3 cards when you have the breakdown in your ring. When this card is in your ring, if your opponent causes you to discard any number of cards, you may put this card into your hand instead of discarding. Yes, please. Let's look over the non-throwback just to see the difference. Non-throwback is 15 fortitude, draw 1. When this card's in your ring, if an effect your opponent controls forces you to discard any number of cards, you can put this card into your hand instead. So the throwback one is just better in every way. Happy you're here, happier you're gone. Throwback. When this card is in your ring area, whenever your opponent discards a card for your superstar ability or his superstar ability, he discards an additional card. So this card is mainly meant for the other versions of Jericho. This version of Jericho doesn't make his opponent discard from his ability. The effect of having your opponent discard an extra card is nice. It can be nice. However, min-match slots are already pretty tight since we already have 3 specifics in there. So I don't think we're going to be packing this one. All right, I'm Better Than You, which is a pre-match feud. This is the throwback one. Once during each of your turns, when you have fewer cards in your hand than your opponent, you may draw 1 card. Yes, please. I would love to have that card. Thank you. Don't You Wish You Were Me? Mid-match action, 4 fortitude. When this card is in your ring area during your turn, you can discard 3 cards, and if your next card played is a maneuver, you can ignore that can only be played after text. When this card is in your ring area, you can discard 3 to put it back into your backlash. I have mixed feelings on this one. Discarding 3 is a really big cost, especially if it's going to get reversed. Then you're probably going to either don't try this at home and then have to discard 2 more. And then you'll have to discard 3 to put it back into your backlash deck. So that's a lot of cards. If it's successful, you know, that's cool, but we're not going to be building our deck around this card. So I don't think it's a card that we're really going to bother with. Save Us, we don't get that. Jericho's Running Bulldog can only be played after a successfully played card. Cannot be reversed when played after a 8 damage or greater maneuver. Yeah, I think that's fine. And it's multi, it's not that one, sorry. It's a grapple high risk. Yeah, so I think it's pretty good. The Codebreaker. It's a trademark finisher, 35 fortitude, 15 damage. As a maneuver, it's minus 20 fortitude, and it can only be played after a successfully played card. As a reversal, reverse any non-unique revolution card. So this is basically irrelevant as a reversal in the current Raw Deal meta because revolution isn't really a thing anymore. But it's a 15 fortitude, 15 damage trademark finisher. So sure, I'll take that. I'm here to save us from you. 15 fortitude reversal, reverse any non-unique maneuver or activated card effect. You can put that card from your backlash in your ring. We don't get that card, but we do get this card, and it's a reversal. It's not an amazing reversal, so we may end up taking it out, but for now we'll put it in. 8-time WWE Intercontinental Champion. put up to 4 backlash cards removed from the game into your backlash. You may discard up to 4 cards from hand, and for every 2 cards discarded, put 1 additional backlash card back. When you have a pre-match object with Intercontinental in the title in your ring, you can put up to 8 cards from your ringside on the bottom. I really don't know if we're going to be having an Intercontinental belt in our ring. We might. Yeah, why not? Let's add it. The best in the world, action, 15 fortitude. It's also a reversal. Cannot be packed by New Nexus. As a reversal, this card is -2 fortitude for each different maneuver type in your ring. When you are CM Punk or Revolution CM Punk, this card is -10 fortitude, and when played from hand, reverse any maneuver. Your opponent overturns 1 card for each different maneuver type in your ring. When successfully played as an action, he overturns twice that many. Yeah, so I think this card is pretty good. It reverses any maneuver, so yeah, I'm cool with that. Jericho already has a bunch of good reversals. Jericho's Cocky Pin. When you are the Lionheart, this card is WCW instead and -10 fortitude. Can only be played after a successfully played 6 damage plus or superstar specific maneuver, or as a counter with a superstar specific card. Your opponent overturns until he overturns 3 reversal cards. And when successful and there are 5 or fewer cards in his backlash deck, you win the game. So this card is more appropriate for the Lionheart and storyline Jericho than it is for us. So I think we're going to skip this one. Jericho's Triple Powerbomb. It's a grapple, 20 fortitude, 15 damage WCW card. Cannot be packed by Jericho. When you are the Lionheart, it requires 3 reversals instead of 2. It ignored completely. Your opponent discards 3 cards, discarding 1 less for every reversal played. This card's okay. We'll add it for now, but it might come out. Welcome to Monday Night Jericho. It's another reversal, 25 fortitude. WCW again. Cannot be packed by Jericho. When you are the Lionheart, discards 5 fortitude. Reverse any non-maneuver card and put 1 maneuver from your ringside or your cards removed from the game under man of 1,004 holds. When you would discard, when your opponent would discard for where the big boys play, you may discard 1 card and he discards a backlash card instead. This card is too much fortitude for us for what it reverses. Reversing a non-unique maneuver isn't tremendously special. And at 25 fortitude, it should probably be better. And then Jerichoholics, which we already went over. All right, so we're at 50 cards already, so we're gonna have to trim some fat. I guess we can cut a sidewalk slam. Hold the phone, I'm sorry. These are going to be the legend cards because remember, we're a legend. We're at 44. All right, I think we can get rid of some of these specifics as well. I'm not sure Walls of Jericho is worth it. So it's going away. These are pretty good. I'll probably keep this one, but maybe not. Running Bulldog is okay, but we don't need it. I'm going to get rid of the Triple Powerbomb, and I'm going to get rid of Lion Soul. All right, so we're at a respectable 41 cards before adding in any kind of legend cards or, you know, really figuring out what we're going to do with the deck. All right, so let's see. Let's get the legend cards. So Superstar logo equals blank. We'll get rid of that. Name. Card text contains legend. In my day, a maneuver was a maneuver. Luckily, we went over basically all these cards before. We can't pack Cowboy Bob because it's a run-in, unfortunately. We can't pack Vicky Guerrero because we're a legend. That could be fun. Can't pack managers. I don't think we're going to be using Saturday night's main event. Legendary defense, of course. It's a good card. I don't particularly like ruthlessness too much. However, we are packing the new legends, so we don't need lower fortitude. Yeah, I think since we're a new legend, we will be packing ruthlessness. We're not going to be using the counters. Living the Good Life. That's a good card. And if it's reversed, we can pick it up with the LED jacket, play it again. And for all these years, which is free, so why not? All right, we're up to 43. Is there anything else we get into before we really jump into the deck? All right, that's jumping to mind. Okay, so second coming. Let's look at feuds. Is there any feud that we want to build around? I aims to be starting something as a fun and semi-underrated feud. Remove the top card of your opponent's arsenal from the game. Your opponent must reveal 3 mid-match cards from his backlash. You choose one and put the chosen card into his ringside and put the other cards into his backlash. So basically, your opponent gives you a choice of 3 and you make him discard that one, except it's not a discard. So his effects that stop discarding the rematch don't work against this. Again, I think it's more fun than it is good, so I'm not sure we're going to be packing it. According to Linda and the board, this card gives you +2 pre-match and mid-match, and you can ignore the card to be played on, not according to the fine print. But your opponent searches your arsenal and backlash, and if he finds a face or heel card, you lose the game via pinfall. So if we were building this bash, this card would absolutely be going into the deck because we could play this and I'm going to bash your brains in. But we're not going to be building this second coming bash. I mean, maybe we should have, but we're not going to. So for now, we will skip Linden board. Backstage politics basically gives your opponent -1 hand. Yeah, that card's not good. Back to basics, we can't pack it. We can't pack it. Bitter rivals. I've gone over this card before. It is a good card, but we're going to be wanting to play title belts, so no. I want to play the game. Might be a good card for us near the end of the pre-match. Once we've played a bunch of our events. I'll add it for now, but we might skip it. All Alone in the Night, not worth packing. Trash talking is good, but we're not going to use it. We're not going to use Major Announcement. There's no real synergy with us. There is no escape. This is a really good card. However, I don't think it's something that we really need to worry about. We're not going to build Homecoming because that cuts us off from some good cards. That's value. You know, it's kind of a meme in my play group that we want to build a good That's Value deck, but I don't think that's a possible thing to do. So we're going to skip it altogether now. Unless you're building your deck around it, there's no reason to pack it. First of all, does he get first of all? I don't recall. He cannot pack first of all, so never mind. Bash your brains in. We already went over that. Tech in a Bottle, which is RMS, so you can't play it as a active event, but you can still play it in the feud phase. However, I don't think we're going to bother playing it during the feud phase. So really not much there for us. Again, if we were a bash deck, we would certainly be taking advantage of Linda and the board, and I'm going to bash your brains in, but we're not. So moving on. All right, so the question is, what do we want to do with Chris Jericho or with the Second Coming? And thinking about this card, letting you put cards from your ringside and your ring face down, cards that you can spam. Anytime I see a superstar that can spam, particularly from ringside, I automatically think of like cheese maneuvers, just really difficult to reverse cards. So I think we may be leaning into that. I did have an idea. I know that we just built a Raw superstar, but I think Second Coming might be a good Raw superstar as well, because we could spam beat you Raw from ringside if the opponent reverses it. And if he doesn't reverse it, then we have 5 Fortitude. So I think we may be going for another Raw Allegiance deck. I wish that wasn't the case for diversity's sake, but I think it might be the way that we go. I can't really think of another allegiance that I want to run in, lean into. I mean, and looking at the Raw cards, I think it might be a good idea for us to do that. So let's look at, so remember that we can also play actions. We can play our face down actions, and there's a lot of good Raw actions. So let's go over these again and see if there's anything that I might want to use. You know what we could do, which would be really silly. Do we go for a JR's Animal Hat Trick? Because since we can put the card face down, it retains that title. And this card just looks for the title. So how easy are these to play? As an action, you must discard your hand. Not good. As a reversal, reverse any card that would force your opponent to discard any number of cards or force him to overturn any number of cards from his arsenal into his ringside. So that's not awful. So far, this is looking like the card that we just put into our ring face down, but let's see what Government Mule does. Can only be played after a successfully played non-multi-strike grapple. Repeat the same maneuver effects and damage as printed on the card you just played as though it were played again. This card can be reversed as if it were that maneuver. That's not terrible, I'll say. And considering that if we do lean into the Raw Allegiance, it will have protection from hybrid and unique reversals. And we're going to be playing cheese moves, which are hard to reverse. So, all right, that card's not terrible. Running like a scalded dog can only be played after a successfully played maneuver, and if your fortitude is greater than your opponent's. When this card is in your ring area, whenever your opponent successfully plays a card that moves any number of cards from his ringside to any other location, he must then end his turn. All right. Again, not a bad card. I think, you know what? We just need one of each. So let's do it. I can't believe I'm building a JR hat trick deck, but you know what? That's what this video is for. We want to have fun and we want to win. That's the best way that this game is. Fun and you win. All right. Do any other Raw actions appeal to me? Furniture and fun. Your card's titled Table, 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 Ladder in the Ring, 3 Fortitude. Not going to be played in reversal chair shot, +4. No, I don't think that's worth it. From the mind, yeah, we'll add that. Forcible entry, dance. We will be using Dance Coach Dance because we're not building Raw Reunion. Premier Raw is a good card. Overhand Share Shot. This is a card we went over when we talked about Skip Sheffield. I don't think we're going to be using it. It doesn't really do anything super special for us. We're not focused on RFG cards, so I don't think we're going to use that. She's Got Legs can be good because we can't spam it, so we'll add it for now. Randomly discarded 3 is good. Elimination Chamber is more fun than it is. Well, it's good, but it hurts a lot, so we're not going to use it. Raw Deal. We do have some superstar specific Raw cards. Now we can pack them as if they are not Raw, but they are still Raw. So we could play Raw Deal into like the breakdown and have an irreversible breakdown, but I don't think we're going to do that. Undermine, absolutely. Our mid-match is getting real tight, so we'll have to really focus on that after we're done. That's running. Where's the Payoff is a good card, but we can't really take advantage of it, so we're going to pass. Twisted Smile is a card I really like. I'll add a couple, but again, we're running out of arsenal space, so we might get rid of them. We're not going to be using that. That's a manager. That's a manager. This card isn't worth it for us. That's Heal. No. 2 non-unique cards with the Raw logo. Jared Donnybrook, not very good. That's not very good. Bad Blood. Well, our feuds aren't really feuds, are they? So I guess we can't really use Bad Blood. Testicular Fortitude, Hardcore, Raw and Ready. Raw and Ready is a card that we could run because we're not running Revo of the Mind, but we're at 51 already. Man, this is tight. Raw and Ready. What could that can go fetch us any card. It could fetch us Y2J. It could fetch us well, we can't search for Beat You Raw, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be using Raw and Ready. JR Action. Run-ins. These are all run-ins. That's RMS, so we can't put it face down, so it's probably not worth it. Same with that. Slingshot. No, I don't think so. How many do you need? Again, a card that is almost good. It's so close to being good. Email backed by Eric, a card we abused with Skip Sheffield. We unfortunately can't abuse it as well, and it's Heal, so we're not going to get it anyway. Let's get it down. I'm not sure we'll have the pre-match slots for it. I'll add it for now, but again, who knows? Unfortunately, we just won't have room for sex gods, freaks, frauds. I think I'll add that. We don't right now. We don't have well, we do have a trademark finisher, but it's not good enough to do with that. I think we are going to go Raw Allegiance, which is fine. Do we have fight to be legendary? No, I don't think so. Although we could theoretically spam it all the time. Your maneuver is unsuccessful. You put this card into your ringside and your turn does not end. Is the LED jacket once per turn? It is. I think we're going to skip fight to be legendary. Interrupted by the anonymous Raw GM. Again, it's good, but we might not have room for it. Beat You Raw will absolutely be going in because we can spam that. Raw announce table, not worth it. We're not running Raw Reunion. We will definitely be running the belts. There's Intercontinental. I knew we'd get one. in the United States belt. All right, so we're at 54 cards. So I think we're gonna have to cut some of these. Do we cut Twisted Smile? We might have to, man. I don't want to, but I think we have to. This is what we do for adding in the JR hat trick cards. Ruthlessness versus any non-maneuver. Yeah, that's not terrible. I think, we can cut an elbow, but that leaves us with what, 9 cards? All right. All right. So since we have so few slots for maneuvers, I think we have to make the maneuvers we do have count. Which unfortunately means cards like, I say unfortunately, like it's not common, but I think something like 3 German suplex stands out. I guess we'll start near the top of the B reverse cards. It takes a minute to get to the actual good ones. So let's. Claw is intriguing, but it's a lot of fortitude. Pump kick. Is there a way? If we can Smoking Skull, I'm gonna look up Smoking Skull. Not be packed back. First of all, at the end of the pre-match, search your arsenal for 2 different 9 unique maneuvers, reveal them. Your opponent chooses one, put the chosen card into your ring. Yeah, all right. So for now, we'll add Smoking Skull. We got a bunch of belts now. And we'll put, where was it? Pump kick. We'll put 1 pump kick in. Looking at the other cards, nothing really standing out. Brass Knucks is heel, so we can't pack that anyway, but I know the good maneuvers are coming up soon. Early Raw Deal was, there was a power creep, let's just say, within the game. Laying the Smack-a-Down. I always thought that card should have been a Rock title, but whatever. Redemption's permanent, so we can't even use that, even if we did have Backstage Politic. Well, we could use it, but not really worth it. Divas is a decent card, but we're not going to use it. Bootlace, yeah, we'll add 1 bootlace for now. That might become 2, and it might become none. Quick snap. I don't think it really fits us. And again, pump kicks really are our only starting move right now. We may be able to add in like a brutal beating and a blindside hook. And then I could search for hook and pump kick with, yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. We have German already. I know that there's 1 card that I'm waiting for us to come across because we're absolutely going to be packing it. Precision kick is decent, but precision sleeper is also pretty decent. we'll add one sleeper. I wish we could spam shoot action, but we can't. Ooh. If only Precision Haymaker wasn't RMS. We are fan favorite. Is there anything? Well, if we're gonna have blindside hook, I guess we have to be. All right, shoot lockup. We're definitely adding a couple. That was the card I was waiting on. We're at one card left. All right. Backfire. Forward kick. I mean, maybe whirlwind kick, but I think we could add a back throw because that could help us. If we were using blank cards, we'd be running drawing a blank, but we're really not. All right. We're in the classic moves. I don't think we're going to be using much of that. Eat Your Words is an underrated card. Do we throw an Eat Your Words in? Yeah, why not? Burn it to the ground. We already have that. That's our allegiance. All right, I think we have. Yeah. Ooh, the movie cards. Some of the movie cards are pretty good, aren't they? Yeah, I just don't think that's a problem with some of these guys. You don't have the arsenal space. All right. So I mentioned the brutal beating. So let's add a brutal blindside beating and a blindside hook. All right, so we have to cut 3 cards. I think we can cut the bootlace. German's good, shoe lockup's good. Do we need this card? It could help us out if we're in a pickle. We have a bunch of things that reverse non-maneuvers, which is fun. Again, I mean, these 3 would be an easy 3 to cut, but we've gone for it. So let's see. Ruthlessness. I mean, again, it's good now that we don't have to have lower fortitude. Lay is good. Cavalry, sloppy. I don't want to cut a volley this because it's early fortitude, but man, I guess I'll have to. All right. Any of these specifics, not worth it. Running Bulldog is looking pretty weak compared to our other maneuvers. We don't have a ton of 8 damage or greater maneuvers either. So yeah, it's gone. All right. At 60. I'm not going to regret it. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. We already have 12 free match. So I can think of at least one card that we have to put in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. We're at 11 in match and we're at 12. All right. So we'll play that during the feud phase. We absolutely need. I've had more championships than you've had women because we have 4 belts. All right, 1, 2, 3. I suppose we don't really need. I want to play the game, but then again, if we play all of our belts last, I won't have a card to pick. So I think we can get rid of Let's Get It On. Yeah. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, will we be able to do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to stage this pre-match. Okay. Whoops. All right, we'll play that, that, and that. Maybe we'll play the Raw belt after that, the Raw IC belt. So 1, 2, and then this card gives itself +1, and that. So now we're still at 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Yeah, okay. So let's see. I always want to play Premier Raw early. In case we run into product endorsements, which is a card we could pack, but it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't count, doesn't count. 4. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. 5. And then these don't count. All right. So I think that's how we're going to play them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then mid-match, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Card type mid. We may. Oh, we forgot to add in no cells. Oh no. Okay. Now it gets a little more tight because we definitely want no cell. All right, I have to cut 3 cards again. Man, JR hat trick, you're killing me. 1, 2, and one more card. We don't have a ton of moves, so I don't think we need Ayatollah, to be perfectly honest. All right. Wow, that sucks. Anyway, where were we? Card type mid. Remember, we can play mid-match maneuvers and actions from ringside. Well, not from ringside, but we can put them into our ring face down. So maybe something like ready to fight might be the way to go. So ready to fight, 8 fortitude chain, mid-match, -8 fortitude. When you have lower fortitude, shuffle 5 cards from ringside into your arsenal. And when this card's in your ring area, you can put it in your ringside and pick up a maneuver from ringside, put it in your hand. So we could, you know, theoretically spam this card forever. I think that's what we'll do. Let's just see if there's any other actions worth yeah, I don't think we're going to find an action that's better than ready to fight. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. All right. I think this deck has solid potential. A little worried about the lack of maneuvers. But, you know, it's typically better to have too few maneuvers than too many in general. So, you know, we'll see how this goes. Second Coming is not a superstar that is really particularly easy to build, but he has good potential. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching. I will let you know how this deck goes whenever I use it. Thank you.